If many world records to be achieved by going up, here we are having a very much completely different story with breaking a world or Guinness record by going deeper, going down. We are very much delighted to have with us live here in the studio Ahmed Gaber, free diver, world scuba diver,
yes.
World Guinness record breaker.
Well, Guinness World Record holder for 2 records.
And I don't think that this is going to be broken for such a long time to come.
Well,
okay, let's start from the beginning. We do have Press Digest and we do have a lot to talk about, but here, as I said, this is a very special episode, so let me first start with you. 41 years old, 17 years as instructor in diving. You were Special Forces officer, but going from this to that, just to have your profession as your hobby and vice versa, this is a longer story. Let's start.
Well, there is a proverb saying, like, work what you like, you will never work any day in your life. You know? So I totally believe in that, so... well, the story started with me like very long ago, since I was a kid. I started going with the Boy Scouts, when I was 7 at that time. And the first diver I saw, it was in Nuweiba. I was 7 years old.
Wow.
And this is what I decided that I want to be. It wasn't like a very common sport at that time. So I was just like holding my horses until...
There's
I
a
was
chance.
18, yes, and then I started my first diving class when I was 18, and then I became a professional when I was 21, and then since that time, actually, I'm having diving as a career and a hobby as well.
And was it that easy to start as a career?
Nothing called easy and nothing called possible. They are all figurative meanings. I mean, like whatever you have in life, so it's just like you have to get over it, so and then you have to survive around. And the human in general, the human being, we are survivors. So...
what was the most attracting element of the story? I mean, why you have decided that this is going to be your career and your life ahead?
Well, we are 75% water, so I mean, like, water is, I mean, like, we get attracted to water in general, so... it's a parallel world, so we have the space.
I mean, was it a tough decision just to forget all about what you have learned as a Special Forces officer?
No, it's actually part of it, without going...
I mean, part, but, to have all your life underwater, this is another story. This is another decision.
Well,
a turning point, I mean.
I'm being amphibious here, so... like a frog, part of my life, like, at the surface, and part of it underwater, so I mean, like, getting to water, so like you find yourself, actually find peace, so, and this is where I find myself. Everyone has his own door, I find my in the water,
Deeper and deeper a day after the other. I mean, how did it come to your mind that you were going to dive more than 300 meters and you were going to use tons of tanks and you are going to be assisted by all those people and you want to break the record? To think about it first, how did it come to your mind?
As I totally believe, in general, like impossible, it's a delusional, man-made word, so it doesn't, impossible is a figurative meaning that I don't think it exists in general, so it's a project for me, it's a scientific project. I started this project like 6 years ago, to be honest. 2 years I was diving, I was having the dive in my head, like trying to visualize and anticipate any kind of problems. And then I stepped forward, from having the dive, like imagining the dive, till like the execution phase, which is the thing. So I was studying my failure first.
But you have a team, I mean...
Of course, I mean, like, this is another part of the training, I mean, like team selection, so... I was studying my failure first, like alone, and then the team selection, which is like another phase in my...
I don't want to speak about failure here. Failure means that
it's very
God forbid you'd lose your life.
This is, I mean, like, failure is, you don't have to lose your life. You can, the record wouldn't have been done.
I mean, it's a possibility.
It's a possibility. Everything
whenever
is possible.
you are talking about the wrong mix of gases,
that's right.
Then it's something which is going to destroy the one's lungs. It's not you, of course. It's going to be a risk, but it should be a calculated risk.
Of course, everything is calculated. I consider like crossing the road without looking left and right is a risk, so you have to follow the rules, as long as you're following the rules, so everything should move smoothly, so again, as I mentioned in the promo, it's not a suicide mission at all, you know, so.
For me it was. But
Well,
regarding the story, which started 6 years ago,
okay.
on scientific basis, on just having in mind every single little detail, not to leave anything for chances. A day after the other, have you felt some boredom? Have you felt, oh, why I'm going into this? This is a long story, or why I'm doing this to myself, or it has been for so long that I have nothing to do in life except thinking in this. What?
Well, at the beginning, it was like, of course, I mean, like I passed all this stage. I mean, like it's at the beginning, I had all these questions, and I had to answer this question rationally, you know. So, like, because there is a big difference between who you are and who you think you are.
Yeah.
And this is, I totally believe in that, you know. So my question was, can I actually do it, or do I think I can do it? And this is a big question here.
And there is a big difference between both of them.
Yeah, why? It's to find a lot of answers. I mean, like, and mainly scientific answers, you know. So, and the other thing is like a spiritual reason, you know. I would like to keep it for myself.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
But I mean, you are encouraged, of course, all the time by people around you, supporting you, whether from the family, relatives, friends, your team. And each time you feel something that it's going to take you a little bit backward, you would resort to who?
Well, I was trying to get myself, to take myself completely away from any kind of emotional pressure, you know. So like the family members, it's like sort of emotional pressure that I preferred at that time, you know, like to keep myself completely away, you know. So I found actually
these are very hard and tough decisions. Are you tough on yourself that much?
Well, it's again how your perception about
hard
being
choices.
tough, you know. So it's life is about choices in general.
Yeah.
You know, life is about choices. I mean, like if you decide like to stay here without going and open the door, I mean, like the door would be closed and everyone would be waiting, you know, for someone else to open the door for him. Everyone dies, but not everyone can live. You know, this is what I believe in.
Ahmed told the media leading up to the attempt that he was hoping to prove that humans can in fact survive under such conditions as deep sea immersion.
That's right. That's right.
After diving further underwater than any person ever and resurfacing with a smile on his face, I don't know how, Ahmed proved that not only can someone survive, they can earn a spot in history, sure to never be forgotten.
That's right.
Okay, I know that this is right, but I know I'd like to have your feelings and how have you seen the story after having this, after fulfilling the mission, I should say.
Well, this story at the beginning, I mean, like that wasn't my target. I mean, like to have my place in history or whatever. I mean, like again, as I said to everyone before, I mean, like it was like a huge bunch of questions. You know, I was trying to find answers in this question. I mean, like, and then your place in history, it will be there anyway, whether with failure or with success. You know, so that. Actually, that wasn't in my agenda, you know, or this kind of media attention that I had after my dive as well, you know. So that
and because of this, you were not answering phones.
That's right.
Just before going on air, I was asking you about football or about other sports you were into, and you said that you were into triathlon, you're into swimming, but not into football, and this is for me something strange.
Well, everything I'm doing apparently is very strange, yeah.
But if you permit me, we do have some press digest, so we do have some headlines. We should just get our viewers diving into the sports arena in general, so if you permit me.
Yes, please.
Dear viewers, we are going to have quickly our press digest as many events took place last week, and we are going to focus mainly on our local ones. Of course, we do have international events, but first, Masri and Al Ahli, because this match was of an importance which I cannot deny. Masri and Al Ahli share honors in first clash since Port Said tragedy. It was a tragedy, but fortunately we are out of this. We hope that this is going to continue without any hard feelings. And we are to continue with the musical seats of the transfer window, but not only with the players, even with the coach at this time. Smoha sacked Lavani, appointing Helmi Tolan ahead of Champions League debut. After the team's poor results in the Egyptian Premier League, Smoha have sacked French coach Denis Lavani just 3 months after appointment. And by so many of the sports analysts would say that this is because they had the very wrong decision to sack Hamada Siddi. Hamada Siddi is doing great now with Wadi Degla, so we hope that both of them, Wadi Degla and Smuha, are going to continue in a better way with the Egyptian Premier League next season, inshallah. And no major changes in FIFA rankings. Egypt keeps position, but unfortunately it's number 60. It's not a good one. We hope that tomorrow is going to be another day. And of course it was that easy for Germany to keep their position as ranking number 1. The top 10 are Germany, Argentina, Colombia, Belgium, Netherlands, Brazil, Portugal, France, Spain, and Uruguay. Taking you to the Egyptian Olympic team, they are going to face Ghana in 2 friendly games. These were the statements said by Houssam El-Badri, the coach of our national Olympic team. We hope that they are going to continue with a better way than the national team in 2015. To move to our pharaohs outside Egypt, and now it's Al-Muhammadi. Speedy Al Hull City's fastest player in EPL, the speedy Egyptian, was recently clocked at 34.6 kilometers per hour. I think that this is a compatriot here. This is a rival. Redknapp praises Egypt's Salah, believes Chelsea won't release him. Salah and Chelsea, it's not a good story, but tomorrow is another day. Let's cross our fingers and to see Salah doing better with his teammates in Chelsea and with Mourinho. And for